So I just rode the Focus Izalco Team, and what a gorgeous bicycle. I had no past experience with the Focus other than checking this bike out when it came into the office for the initial build. And there's a lot to like in this design. The frame is really elegant. This top tube, again, you're going to have to buy the magazine to check out some of the photos, but it really tapers in kind of a narrow waist in this section. And looking at it from above, it's confidence inspiring. It just feels like you got plenty of room to move your knees around if you're getting out of the saddle on some of the climbs, and you're not going to knock knees or knock head tubes. I think it's gorgeous. I like the fact that it's not a real full compact frame, that it's almost bordering on traditional, which is getting kind of rare with a flatter top tube. I think it just looks like an elegant bike. Looks elegant, rides really well, really lively feel to it. It's one of the, probably of all the bikes in this test, I think it has the liveliest feel in terms of frame and ride. Just want to really jump and hammer it. We put the whole bike as a package together, and I think this is just under $8,000, and I think it's really good value. There's not a single component on here that I feel the need to change anytime soon. I think it all just matches well. Ride quality superb. Yeah, I'm a big fan. This is a good one.
So a few of my mates have Focus bikes, and I can see now why they probably beat me to the top of a couple hills, because the bike's great. On the slight inclines around the office here, the bike really jumps very nicely when you're putting down some power, and it just feels so natural to get onto, and it just feels ready to race. And that's so cliche to say, but you just want to get on a crit track and go for it. I'm a huge fan of the Cerium wheels. They just work. I've had some on my bike for 3 years, and they're very reliable. They roll very well, and these do the same. And it's nice that the bike complements your efforts so much.
I must say that I wasn't as wowed by this bike as Toby and Rob were. It handles brilliantly, but it didn't have that wow factor that I was expecting with the praise that came from Toby. This is a comfortable bike. Some of the other bikes on test are not as comfortable as this, and I was quite impressed with the ride quality of this bike. Just looking at it, it's probably one of the best looking bikes we have on test. The finish is fantastic. It has a matte and gloss finish, and there's just enough of each to make the frame look interesting but stylish at the same time. There's really nothing to add to this bike. There'd be nothing you wanted to buy for it unless you had a personal preference for a bar shape or a saddle. It's very well spec'd, and as you would expect from the price point, that there's nothing that you would need to buy for this bike if you're racing or just riding on the weekends.
It rides like a nice bike, and Toby is the one testing it, and he came back after his first ride and he said, "That's the nicest carbon bike I've ever ridden." And I thought, hang on a sec, is that in the last couple of years? And he just clarified it's the nicest carbon bike he's ever ridden. So there's a big weight of expectation, and from the moment that I jumped on, literally even before I clicked in, just sitting on the saddle and feeling the reach and the hoods and the Di2 and the little hoods, that felt great, and I was sort of chuffed. I was really excited to go for a ride. And I want to give a special mention to these K-Force bars. I don't know what the name of them, sorry, the FSA bars. They're not K-Force, they're the Wing or something, and they're super good. They're nice and narrow, just the way I like them. The drop is just the right for my depth for my hands. The shape is just right. The further I went, the more I liked it. It was instantly likable. It's a glorious bike. Big thumbs up. Could be the bike of the year.
I've ridden a Focus Izalco Team in a previous issue of Ride, so I reviewed one for a previous issue of Ride, and this is their latest one with Di2, which I was a fan of the bike then. I thought it had a little bit of a sort of a dull feeling to it, but I think they've obviously done a few things, sort of tweaking the frame, small refinements. I know it's got a different fork on it, and I think the newer one is a testament to sort of that period of time where they've obviously looked to develop it and improve the product. In terms of the ride quality of the Focus, like as I mentioned before, I tested one a number of issues ago. I liked that bike. I wasn't wowed by it, but I think the new one is greatly improved. They've kept with that really slimline top tube, which I sort of I like, because if you've got that pedaling knee-in style, like sort of the Schlecks do, where on a thicker frame your knees can actually come in contact with the top tube, which for me personally, if anything sort of touches the inside of my thigh or knees while I'm pedaling, it's just totally frustrating. I can't handle it at all. And even though the top tube is that narrow and that slim, it's got no sort of noodle effect when you're sprinting, or if you're going over rough sort of corners in the drops. There's no visible or sort of there's no give or flex that you can feel under load. The steering wheel set, I think, is a great package.